Hey guys, I'm going to show you 4 different ways you can attach multiple flies to your rig.
The first is off the hook bend, the second is off the hook eye, the third is off of a slip knot, and the last is off of a surgeon's knot or some other type of line joining knot.
But first, let's go over some terminology. This is a basic dropper rig off the hook bend of the lead fly, also known as the point fly. Off the point fly, the dropper line should be 12 to 18 inches long, followed by the second fly, which is known as the dropper fly. Now, the purpose of this video is to show you guys the principles of adding multiple flies to your line. You can actually mix and match the steps and tricks that I show you in this video to create various types of rigs, whatever rig you want that features multiple flies. For instance, you could tie a subsurface fly off the bend of a popper or a dry fly to be top water and subsurface, or you can tie a second fly off the tag end of a surgeon's knot underneath a strike indicator, or you could tie on 2 subsurface flies with a slip knot, or you can get crazy like putting a split shot sinker with 2 other flies, or you can go balls to the walls and tie 3 flies onto one rig. The possibilities are endless. So how exactly do you tie 2 flies onto your line?
For this video, I'm going to use high-vis fluorocarbon and size 2 bass hooks for the ease of your viewing experience. So the first method I'm going to show you is the dropper coming off the bend of the hook. And I'm going to tie the point fly on with a Palomar knot. To tie a Palomar knot, you're going to double over your line, thread the doubled over line through the eye of the hook, make a basic overhand knot, and then pull the looped tag end all the way through enough where you'll be able to wrap it around the entire hook. Begin to pull the knot tight, but before you pull it completely tight, wet the knot with some spit. It'll slide together easier than pulling the main line and tag end. To close the knot, trim the tag end, and that completes the point fly. Now we're going to move on to the dropper line. I'm going to take a separate section of line, about 2 feet, so I can get into that 12 to 18 inch range that I like. I'm going to wrap the line around the bend of the hook, and this is going to be tied on with an improved clinch knot. So once it's wrapped around the hook, I'm going to begin wrapping the tag end around the main line. This is going to be done about 5 to 6 times. Once I've made my wraps, I'm going to thread the tag end through that tiny loop down by the bend. That's going to create a second loop. I'm going to pull a little bit of this tag end out and thread the tag end through that second loop. Once I've done that, I'm going to start to pull the knot tight, wet it with some spit, and then pull on the main line to close the knot. Trim the tag end. Now we can move on to the dropper fly. With this fly, I'm going to again tie a Palomar knot. And a quick note about the knots that I'm using in this video, I use a lot of Palomar and improved clinch knots when I'm out on the water, so that's what I use here in these videos. Just because I use them here doesn't mean you have to. Use whatever you feel comfortable with. Once I finish the Palomar, I'm going to trim the tag end, and that is going to complete the dropper coming off the bend of the hook. Now we're going to move on to the dropper coming off the eye of the hook. So let's just say that we have our point fly tied onto the main line. What you're going to do, you're going to slide that knot over to the side so it makes room for you to tie this next knot. And for this one, I'm going to tie an improved clinch knot. And I'm doing this because I wouldn't be able to wrap the loop of a Palomar knot all the way around the hook and the main line. Once I trim the tag end of that knot, our dropper line is officially added to the point fly. For the dropper fly, I'm going to tie on a Palomar knot. And once I've completed this Palomar and trimmed the tag end, that completes the 2 fly rig with the dropper coming off the eye of the point fly. Now let's move on to the third rig where the dropper line comes off the main line using a slip knot. Again, let's assume that you already have your point fly tied on. I'm going to take a section of line and create a little loop out of my main line. I'm going to take a separate section of line and thread it through that loop. Take a good amount of line right here to create your tag end, and then with that tag end, create a loop. Allow the tag end to cross the main section of the dropper line. This is going to be very similar to a uni knot. Now with the tag end, wrap it around the main section of the dropper line and thread it through the loop. I'm going to do this about 5 times. Now that I've made my wraps, I'm going to pull on the tag end and the main line to pull the knot tight. I'm going to wet it with some spit so it slides together easier. Now what I want to do with this, I want to take as much pressure off that main line as possible. So you got that loop right there at the bottom of our knot. I'm going to slide a pin through that loop, and then I'm going to start to tighten the knot a little bit. See, that pressure is 100% off the main line. As the knot comes tight, I'm going to pull in the main line and the tag end. Those wraps are going to come together a little bit. Now as I pull in the main line, it's going to draw that knot ever so tightly. I'm going to let it slide all the way down to the end of the pin where the loop is going to be the smallest. All right, now you can see there's a tiny little loop at the end of the knot. With a pair of pliers, I'm going to pull in the tag in a little bit to close the knots. Then I'm going to pinch the knot and pull in the main line of the dropper. Pull it almost all the way tight. Not completely tight though, because see, you want this thing sliding up and down the line like this pretty easily. So that's going to complete our knot. I'm going to trim the tag in. Now let's move on to the dropper fly. Once again, remember the 12 to 18 inch length for your dropper line. I'm going to tie this thing on with another Palomar knot. When the knot is complete, I'm going to trim the tag end, and that completes our 2-fly rig using a slip knot dropper line. Now we're going to move on to our final 2-fly rig that uses a surgeon's knot. So I'm going to have 2 pieces of line here. In my left hand, I'm going to have my main line, which is the clear line, and then in my right hand, I have my tippet, which is going to be the high-vis fluorocarbon. To tie a surgeon's knot, you're going to line both lines up. You're going to want a good amount of line being lined up right here. Then cross both lines, creating a loop. Now take both lines and begin threading them through that loop. I'm going to do this about 3 times. Also, with this rig, you don't have to use a surgeon's knot. If you want to use some other type of knot that joins 2 lines together, like a blood knot, you're more than welcome to do that. I really like to use a surgeon's knot because it's quick and easy, and I feel like it performs well while I'm catching fish. Once I've threaded it through, I'm going to begin pulling both lines to the right because that's where our flies are going to be. Pull on the main lines and the tag ends to pull the knot tight. Now this is going to leave us with 2 tag ends. The upper tag end, the high vis tag end, we want to get rid of that because we don't need it. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. But we do want to keep the lower tag end. That's going to be the main line tag end. That is what we're going to use to tie on our first fly. Be sure to have a good amount of line here so you have enough line to tie your fly on. And with the amount of line I got right here, I think I can comfortably tie it on with a Palomar knot. When the Palomar knot is complete, I'm going to trim the tag end, and now we can move on to the dropper line. Again, I'm going to keep the dropper line to about 12 to 18 inches here. And with the amount of line that I have, I'm going to tie it on with a Palomar knot. After trimming the tag end, that completes our 2-fly rig using a surgeon's knot. Well guys, let us know what you thought of the video in the comments. We really appreciate you checking it out. We hope you guys come back for the next one, but until then, get out there, put a line in the water because we were made to fish.